Since our executive director is here, he keeps reminding me that we have to mention our name, the email address. The email address for questions, remarks, and positive reinforcement is at rabbigaon@gmail.com. Our yeshiva website is at, what is the yeshiva website? Yeshiva Etzion. Rabbi Gaon at Gmail.
Yes.
Rabbi Gaon at Gmail, yeshiva@etzion.com. That's it. I don't know those things. Anyway, Parashat Shemot. It's a very interesting parasha that really has a lot of secrets in it. In this week's parasha, a lot of secrets in it. So maybe today, because Rebbe is here, we'll go through a little bit on the Kabbalistic trend of this parasha. It says in the parasha, "Vayakem melech chadash al Mitzrayim, asher lo yada et Yosef." And there was a new king that sat on the throne in Egypt, and he did not know Yosef. Pay attention to the word yada. Rashi tells us, "Asher lo yada." What does it mean, asher lo yada? Asa atzmo ki'ilu lo yada. He made believe like he didn't know. All of a sudden, he forgot who is Yosef. He didn't know what he didn't want to know. Oh, this is so important. He didn't know what he didn't want to know. This is Ari. No, that's Yeshua. The matter of knowing, what we call in Hebrew da'at, is very important. The chokhmah, the binah, depends on the da'at. On knowing. Da'at is to know. And da'at depends on your will. If you don't have a will, you would not know. And you'll see that I said it to you many times, but now you see how it's connected to the parasha. Whatever the person wants to know, he would know. Whatever he doesn't want to know, he doesn't want to know. In Israel, in the army, they call it Rosh Katan, a small head, a pinhead, a knucklehead. It's your choice. Don't say you're Rosh Katan, you're Rosh Katan. Right? Rosh Natz, Rosh Katan. A person needs to understand that whatever he doesn't want to know, he would not know. Chazal explained to us that if a person says he cannot learn, that his mind is weak. You know, my head is not so strong. I'm not such a. If a person says that, he's already, or in other words, he's saying that he doesn't want to. What do we say? Lo rotzeh ben dod shelo yachol. Lo yachol ben dod shelo rotzeh. I can't is the first cousin of I don't want to. I mean, you can't. You can, of course you can. If the person, for example, realized, let's say, this guy learns it quickly. For me, I learned this, by the time I finish an Amud, he finished a whole Masechta. So beg to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Pray, help me. Make an effort, sit down and learn. Don't tell me you can't. I love it when I read about the Navy SEALs and they say that when you feel that that's it, you cannot do any more, you reach about 40% of your ability. It means most of your effort is not there. You can do 60% more of what you feel that you can. That's it. I cannot do this anymore. You still have 60% to go. It's ridiculous. Don't ever say, I can't. You don't want to. You just don't want to. So Paro didn't want to know Yosef. It was convenient for him to forget about him. Let's say, for example, I would tell you, you know what? Let's say you have the Empire State Building. Even without anything on your shoulders, I'll tell you, walk all the way to the top. It's going to be a test, right? Oh man, I'm going to walk all the way on top. I don't want to do that. And I imagine I'll tell you, say, listen, take this pack on your back, and there's extra weight of 30 pounds for you to bring it up there. What are you going to tell me? So listen, Rabbi, I can make 10 steps up. But let's say I push you. 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 Push. I have this like a, kettle, buzz you all the time, give you electricity, shock like this. Ow, ow, ow. So you finally go up, you hate my guts. And then I'm going to tell you, how about open the bag, and you see 30 pounds of pure gold. Now you're going to be angry at me? What would it be if I'll tell you beforehand? I said, listen, I want you to walk all the way up Empire State Building and take these 30 pounds of pure gold. If you make it to the top, it's yours. Are you going to make it? Oh, what attitude? You're going to make it on your hands. You're going to be running it backwards. 30 pounds of gold, it's a lot of money, right? It's yours. Just all you need to do is to go up there. All of a sudden, it's not a problem. So don't tell me you can't. You see how you made it. There's no such thing as I can't. I don't have time. All these lousy excuses that we make. I can't. No, you don't want to. And we need to understand that. You're not going to tell me you're weak if you know that there's gold there or diamonds. Imagine I'll give you, 30 pounds of diamonds will be a lot. But will be a lot. But let's say 30 pounds of pure gold. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. How many ounces in a pound? 16. So let's say it's 3 ounces. I don't know. Let's say there are 10.
30.
Oh, 30. Fine. Yeah, 30. Yes. All right. So how many in a pound?
30 ounces per pound.
Oh, okay. How many in 30 pounds?
900.
900 times what gold is today? 1,200. It's a lot. 1 ounce is $1,200. Make the cheshbon, you see. All of a sudden, I'll make it. אתה עולה בשביל זה למעלה? אתה עולה למעלה בשביל זה? $300,000 על הגב, אתה לא תעלה למעלה? מה זה בכלל? I'll roll it. So, there's the secret is right here. Asher lo yada. When did the galut start? The galut started with this Paro. He didn't know Yosef. The essence of galut is mean exile, is galut hadat. You're exiling your intellect, your knowledge, your will to know. Galut hadat. A person who really wants to know Yosef, by the way, who's who? Who should have known Yosef? The ones who should have known Yosef of Am Yisrael. The Midrash tells us, the Midrash Tanchuma tells us, that the first ones to forget about Yosef was not Paro. The first ones to forget about Yosef was Am Yisrael. They didn't want to do Brit Milah. Like HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to them, based on the Hosea, you didn't want to do Brit Milah, fine. You violate my covenant, I'll let your covenant with you. You know what? Whack you. You didn't want to know? Midat Hadin. You didn't want to know Yosef? You forgot what Yosef was all about? It's not a problem. I'll give you a king who forgot Yosef. He didn't want to know about Yosef anymore. Galut, being exile, is first of all here. This is where the galut starts. In other words, and you'll see it further down the road, maybe I'm jumping the gun a little bit, but I'm going to tell you the following. Because here, is that not Yossi? The yogi himself.
Got my car back today.
You got your car back today. Good. How do you call this? Vinyasa. You can do vinyasa now. When Am Yisrael is in Galut, what do you refer to? Am Yisrael is outside of Israel. So I'm going to tell you, not necessarily. You could be in Galut in Israel and you could have redemption here. It all depends on your knowledge. You could be in Israel and to express and to feel Galut. You could be in America and you could be not in exile. Because if we say that Galut depends on that, it's all about that. Am Yisrael forgot where they came from, forgot who they were, and forgot why they were in Mitzrayim and what they're doing in Mitzrayim. We talked about it before previously that in order to be able to leave someone or somewhere, you need to know where you came in. Like you go on an airplane. What did it tell you? There are a few exits here. Everybody locate your exit. You need to know where you go. I mean, of course, the exit is where I came. So if you know where you came, you know where you had to leave. If you forgot, you don't know where to leave. You're stuck there. And the way out of Mitzrayim went through Yosef. The way through Mitzrayim was Yosef. Yosef carved the path for Am Yisrael to be able to go. And Rav Scheinberger says that based on the concept of Kutonet Pasim, his rope that he had, that Kutonet Pasim in a way was like a roadmap that they could use in order to, it was a topographic map of how to come out of that, what we call Galut of Mitzrayim, so you won't get lost. That's a map of how Am Yisrael should go in the right path. He gave Am Yisrael when they went to the Galut, and Am Yisrael, as they went through the Galut, they kind of forgot the way in which Yosef gave them. Yosef was the connecting part between the generations of the Avot to the grandchildren. They forgot. They forgot the derech. They forgot the way. And that was a problem. Bnei Israel simply got lost in the maze. It says in Sefer Mesilat Yesharim that the world is like a maze, and the person goes in different ways, and every the turns and alleyways, whatever inside this maze, and the Chacham, the wise person, he's already in the inside chamber. He knows. He already knows. He already found the way, and therefore you can go to the Chacham, to the wise man, in order to guide you out of there. The Chacham, the wise man tells a person, it says you should go here, you should go there, and then until you reach the main chamber, the innermost sacred chamber, you'll be free. So that's what we need Chachamim in our lives, right? And sometimes the person wants to become, as they say in Yiddish, an uber chuchen, not uber car, but a super, or as we say, a wise guy. You want to take a shortcut and so on and so forth, and to go in a different way, or you want to say, Judaism is not the only way. There are other ways. And all of a sudden, he goes the different way and he finds himself completely lost, off the beaten path. You don't have to be such a wise man to understand all those things. You simply have to go, look at the way you go about doing your regular business in life, and you could be your own yogi, you could be your own guru, you could be your own enlightened person if you just take Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Rav Shuvach Tzipora Nechmeidet. Moreno Verabenu. Welcome to our restaurant. Yeah. You smoked a pipe or cigar?
Yeah.
No, I thought you would share one with me. Then I'll ask you where's the bourbon, right? Anyway, so look at your ways, look what you do, look how you operate, and then try to analyze what you do in a philosophical manner, and you have an enlightenment. You see where you're wrong in life, like how you go on the bus, how you go about something, and then you're gonna ask yourself why this is like this and the other stuff is not. And that's what he's telling us. It says, sometimes a person is so lost that he forgot why altogether he's in this maze. Well, why did he start walking? And all of a sudden he has anxiety, and he gets an anxiety attack, he gets a panic attack, and then he puts his life in danger. He can't think anymore, he can't operate, you can't talk any sense to him. You basically have to hold it down, time down, say, listen, relax, take Prozac, take, I don't know what, whatever you take. Relax, take a bourbon. We lost. That's what happens to us. Am Yisrael does not need to find different ways. We have already a path that it's well defined. We have a 6-lane highway. You can't get lost if you go in the derech of Am Yisrael. You will get lost if you get off the path. That's not your way. That's not your path. That's not what you're supposed to do. We have a highway. We have a coast to coast. Route 80. Wow. New York to California. You don't go to California going through the Tierra del Fuego, down there in South America. You don't go to Patagonia. You go straight. You remember that, but you pay attention to what you do. Are you loyal to the path, to the derech of Am Yisrael? Yes? Okay, you'll get somewhere. No? You know that you will get lost. We don't know how to use even maps in cars, for crying out loud. What a lousy generation you guys have. You can't move without a GPS. Do you know how to navigate with a map? No. Shame on you. Same thing here. You rely on your GPS. This is your GPS, your spiritual GPS. This is your topographic map. You won't get lost. You do it. If I'm going to put you in the forest, I'm going to put you in Bear Mountain without a map, you will get lost. I'm going to put you right now in Bear Mountain. You will know what to do. I guarantee you, you will not make it. Over one night, you'll be lost. You'll be first to death. That's what happens when you go off the path. And that's what happened to Bnei Israel. So before they were completely lost, Kadosh Baruch Hu need to do something. Now, our parasha deals with the Galut Mitzrayim and the exile of Egypt, and with the beginning of Geulah, with the redemption. Galut Mitzrayim, the exile of Egypt, is the root of all the Galuyot. Every Galut, every exile that Am Yisrael went, could find its roots in Galut Mitzrayim, stems from that original Galut. As much as you have in the Sferot, right? In the Sferada you have Keter, Chochma, Bina, right? Ze'er, Rampin, U'Malchut. Keter, Chochma, Bina, Ze'er, Rampin, U'Malchut. These are basically all those 5 Sferot, even though we have 10. But Ze'er, Rampin holds a certain amount of them, a bulk of them, and then we have Malchut, and then we have Keter, Chochma, Bina, Ze'er, Rampin, U'Malchut, right, Rabbi? And the Keter, which is the root, is the Sfira Ne'elemet. It's so high we can't see it. This is the same thing in Galuyot. That's why the Torah deals with Galut Mitzrayim in such detail, in order to give us tools and understanding how to apply to our current situation, to the Galut that we are in, to be able to apply it so we won't get lost. If you're able to understand that, you'll be able to understand everything. In other words, I am a big believer in patterns. The patterns to come out of a Galut, any Galut, was originated with the original pattern as dictated during the Galut of Mitzrayim. You'll be able to understand that. You'll be able to apply it to anyone, to any other Galut. You won't be lost. You'll be redeemed. You don't understand that, you'll be lost. That's a fact. It's not a guarantee, it's a fact. Also, how we should prepare for redemption. How to prepare to Geulah. And are we preparing to Geulah? One of the questions that a person is being asked, one of the questions a person is being asked when he comes to Shamayim, of course, after he's been asked, Kavat Eitim LaTorah, that's the first question you ask. There's a machloket, there's 2 different versions in the Gemara, in Asata Maratata Be'emunah, or in another source, another Gemara, Kavat Eitim LaTorah. However, the Shulchan Aruch is posek, the first question a person is being asked is Kavat Eitim LaTorah. You said it's not time to learn the Torah. Second question, Asata Maratata Be'emunah, right? Then, Tzipita LeGeulah. You made all these things. You sat down, you learned Torah on a regular basis. You were an honest businessman. You didn't accept redemption or waiting for that. You lost. Shalom. Recycle. No gilgulim, just recycle. Right? No Gilgulim. We don't believe in Gilgulim. So what? Right, Rebbe? You believe in Gilgulim? You should believe in one thing, believe in God, nothing else. Anyway. And it says, and if you understand that, you can understand also the branches, because it's all the same, it stems from it. And we need to understand that the Ikar, the main fashion of Galut and Geula is the body, so that's Galut Aguf. Okay? But as much as there is Galut Aguf, there's also Galut Adad. There is the physical exile and there is the spiritual exile. Dad, as we say, you know, when we learn Parashat Bereshit, is chibur, connection. Dad is connection. We always say Dad is knowledge, but Chokhmah, Binah, connecting becomes the Dad. So Dad equals chibur. How do I know that? Because the Pasuk tells us. The Pasuk in Bereshit says, Ve'ha'adam, what? Yada. He, quote unquote, knew et Chava Ishto. After he knew her, Vatahar Vataled et Kain. After they're connected, then they had Kain as their son, and the Galut, exile, is the spiritual separation from Borei Olam, from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And the Geula is the reconnection. So let's say, for example, a person is a secular Jew. He's a disconnect, he's in spiritual exile from God. When he takes the necessary steps, it first of all needs to be with the acknowledgement that there is God. Oh, Yesh Avinu Sheba Shamayim. Good. Now I want to connect to it. That's called Geula. You've been redeemed. Very important to understand that. So when the time comes, when the Geula needs to come, and the path that leads us in all, the path takes us all kind of different dark alleys and so on and so forth. We need to walk this path. Chazal tells us that there's always going to be darkness. The road to redemption is not, with projectors and full. Sometimes you have to go through, quote unquote, bad neighborhoods. There's always going to be darkness. And a person could not say, oh, everything I'll do, and then that's the problem that many people have. Okay, I'll become Choser B'Tshuva, Rabbi. Oh, Chazaku Baruch Yofi. But why HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't make it, easy for me? What do you mean, doesn't make it easy for you? Who guaranteed that everything will be easy for you? Well, you doing HaKadosh Baruch Hu a favor? There's going to be difficulties. But your job is to go through it. Your knowledge will come through finding the way out also in the darkness. Imagine you're going to be a Navy SEAL, okay? Or Delta Force. SEAL Team 6. Or Delta Force, one of those fighters, elite units. And you're going to say, excuse me, I passed the bonds, I passed all the things. Just one thing, I don't do any exercise at night. At night I want to go to sleep. I say, Habibi, here's the door, get out of here, don't ever come back. You're going to do more exercise at night than you're going to do in the day. You ask any bomb engineer who takes bombs, many times they have to take mines, field mines and so on and so forth, with their eyes closed or their eyes, tied, because you need to be able to feel things. You're going to go into the battlefield at night, you can go in like this. It's amazing. My father, Abba Shli Chablan, was a bomb engineer. His ability to see things at night, sometimes, there's no light on Shabbat, you can't turn the light on in the stairs, right? So the apartment buildings are closed, dark, the hallway. My father used to go like this, put the key in. I used to go like this, find the key. It's practice. So sometimes, in order to be good, you need to practice at night. So there's no guarantee that everywhere you're going to go is going to be light. So, I haven't seen you in a million years. Your father-in-law comes more often. That's not a good sign. He's asking all the time, where is my son-in-law? Anyway, so sometimes you have to go into the darkness in order to be able to come out to the other side, to the light. And Yosef gave us the way by giving us the dot. He gave us the dot, and we lost it, and whoever brings it back is Moshe Rabbeinu. You should know, which is very interesting. How do we call Avraham? Avraham? Avinu. Yitzchak? Avinu. Yaakov? Avinu. Moshe? Rabbeinu. That change signifies a big change in Am Israel and how they interact. He was Avinu. It was all about Avot. They knew, and so on and so forth. Now we have to, and that's why we had to walk through this. We had to go to the darkness of Mitzrayim in order to move from the stage of Avinu to Rabbeinu. Because all that the forefathers did not last for a long time. Avraham, Asa Nefesh Becharan, it didn't. Am Israel, through the Rabbeinu, were able to stay over 3,000 years in the state that we had, learning Torah. So it's a big change. We learn today in the Gemara, right? The Gemara in Sanhedrin says the following. What the Gemara says in Sanhedrin? It says a lot of things. But no, what does it say? He said, from the time of Moshe Rabbeinu to Rebbe, there wasn't one, no, not the other one. There wasn't Torah and Gedulah, leadership and Torah in one place. If it was Shaul, there was Shmuel. If there was Pinchas, there was Yeshua. If the Pinchas, there was Kenim, and so on and so forth. And then, from Rebbe to Ravashi. But it's amazing. It's a new stage. And all the stages, as Yeshua said, Moshe Rabbeinu brought the Torah, Rebbe gathered all the Mishnayot, taught Am Yisrael Mishnayot, and Ravasi finalized the Gemara. With the stages. If it wasn't for that, we'll be lost. So Moshe Rabbeinu brings it to us also, and Moshe Rabbeinu also brings us to us that Moshe Rabbeinu helped us reconnect with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We disconnected, we left the path, we didn't do Brit Milah, we forgot our ways, we went to 49 gates of impurity, we disconnected ourselves from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Moshe Rabbeinu came, brought us together again, connected us with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That was also B'chinat Da'at. However, Moshe Rabbeinu is able to bring us to a higher level of Da'at, of connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to a much highest level. Why? Because Moshe Rabbeinu and his level was on Sfirat Da'at. He was from the Sfira of Da'at. Yosef is Yesod. Moshe Rabbeinu is Da'at. So he was able to bring us further up. So before the Geulah, before Geulat Mitzrayim, when we had nights and darkness, as they say, Shimshu be'irbuviyah, light and darkness were mixed up together. There was no clarity. But after that, whoever came closer to Moshe Rabbeinu came closer to the light. And whoever went further from Moshe Rabbeinu went into the darkness, fell into the darkness. And this is how it's going to be in the time of redemption as well. Rabotai, not for nothing, today you see very strange maneuvering of people. All of a sudden, a guy that you would never think, this guy becomes a Baal Tshuva. And a person that learns in Yeshiva goes b'sheila. It has nothing to do with your current state of where you are. It has to do with your direction that you're heading. And that's what we say. He's on the derech, he is off the derech. And the derech means the way to Hashem. Are you looking to connect with Ribono Shel Olam, or are you looking to disconnect from Ribono Shel Olam? You might use a lot of different excuses. Oh, the rabbis make this religion, I don't feel this, my rabbi in 5th grade this to me, I can find it. 101 different, or 101,000 different excuses. Ultimately, you're using those excuses because you're not a mensch enough to say, I don't want to be with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You're putting the blame on somebody else, but let Maisa, the only thing that you want is to disconnect from Ribono Shel Olam. And yet there are those who say, what's it mean? It can't be. Let me think about it. And then he connects to Ribono Shel Olam. So in the direction, לדרך שהאדם רוצה ללכת מוליכים אותו. You want to come to a good way, they put you in a good way, and so on and so forth. And Sefer Bereshit deals with Maaseh Bria, whatever the first generations knew. Everybody knows, of course, the Ramban. The Ramban has a very interesting analogy to it. Of course, he doesn't go parallel by order, chronological order. He says, but whatever is mentioned in Sefer Bereshit is brought again in Sefer Shemot. For example, Briat HaOlam, creation of the world. What was the parallel to it? Briat HaMishkan, building the Mishkan. And so on and so forth. The pit, the Am Yisrael were in, Dor HaFlaga. Each and every event that happened in Sefer Bereshit happened to us here as well in Sefer Shemot on a much different magnitude and a different caliber altogether. So Sefer Bereshit was really deals with all the kilkulim, all the wrongdoing and so on and so forth, and fixing out. For example, the Maaseh of Adam HaRishon, Kam Adam HaRishon, and he did what he did, right? So he destroyed. He put a blemish. So Adam HaRishon came and he put a blemish into this world, right? And then you have Maaseh of Cain, what Cain did. Then we have Dor HaMabul, the generation of the flood. And then we have Dor HaFlaga, we have Nimrod, and all this chevra over there, right? And everything talks about the mistakes, the problem, the blemishes that those generations did. Until Avraham Avinu came, and Avraham Avinu started to fix those things. And Avraham Avinu started what we say, Avraham Avinu התחיל תיקונו של עולם, to fix the world. But there was an individual fixing. Tikkun Yechidim. Why? Because when HaKadosh Baruch Hu changes the name of Avram to Avraham, he does something very interesting. If you take the word Avraham, you're going to be Evar Ma, Memhei. Evar Ma. Ma, Memhei, in Gematria, the numerical value is 45. The numerical value 45 equals to the same numerical value of Adam, a person. So Avraham Avinu started to fix one person at a time, Tikkun Yechidim. And he started to fix the Tikkun of Adam HaRishon. So Avraham Avinu was there to fix Adam HaRishon, whatever Adam HaRishon did. But when he fixed Evar Ma, one limb at a time, Avraham Avinu made his Od Brit Kodesh into a Kli Kodesh. So he started to fix that. Avraham Avinu, we know that the Gematria of Avraham is what?
248.
What?
248.
248. כגימטריה רמ"ח, רש מם חטא איברים שיש בו באדם. The fix-up of all the other limbs of that spiritual body depends on the ability to fix, first of all, one thing. And now you can take with this and you can go further with that. But Avraham Avinu was the beginning. And if you see what Avraham Avinu fixed and so on and so forth, what Adam HaRishon destroyed and Avraham Avinu fixed, you can really see why is Avraham Avinu stands in the so-called, the Midrash tells us, in the pits of Gehenom, at the opening of Gehenom, and he says, Od Brit, were you poging with your Od Brit? Yes or no? You were Shech your Orla, you embarrassing your Brit Milah, I'll throw you down. You kept your Brit Kadosh, I'll pull you out from Gehenom. That was the tikkun of Avraham Avinu. He fixed one limb. He made that aver into a holy vessel. Think about that, and think what Avraham Avinu is. It's an amazing word. As they say in Ladino, a moire dikke word. Moshe Rabbeinu is the one who continues the tikkun that Avraham Avinu started. Moshe, the letter is Mem, Hey, Shin. Mazal Tov. Everybody knows how to spell. The letter Shin, when you write Shin, symbolizes three kavim, three lines, which is, remember we have in Tefillin, we have one Shin with three, one Shin with four. What do we have 3 and 4? 1 Avot, The other one, Imahot. So those lines symbolizes the three Avot that we have. Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. Moshe is the Adam, the Ma, right? Which is connected to the path in which the Avot had plowed. He came in and re-excavated the path in which we bothered to cover. He excavated it, and then he was supposed to bring the world to the ultimate tikkun. Remember, if Moshe Rabbeinu would have entered Eretz Israel, the Geulah will come, Mashiach, he would have been Mashiach, and so on and so forth, right? Should I make a joke? I'll tell you a joke later. Remind me, right? So he was supposed to do so. He didn't do it. He was supposed to, but he had the ability to bring the world to the stage, and he was the one who brought Am Yisrael to this amazing place called Har Sinai, receiving the Torah, and so on and so forth. But because of the Egel, Chet HaEgel, and because of the Mei Merivah, that did not happen. And now we need to continue in the path that Moshe Rabbeinu gave us. However, he gave us the key, the rubric to figure it out. That's called the Torah. You cannot be redeemed if you know it. There's no Torah. Being a good person, by the way, is not good enough. Listen, I'm a good person. I'm not doing anything bad. I don't need to keep Shabbat. No, you're wrong. The only way to be redeemed, you're not going to make, if you keep Torah and mitzvot, of course, if you keep Torah and mitzvot, you don't just pretend you keep Torah and mitzvot. That will be the ticket in which would allow you to make it to the plane or to the train or to the boat that we'll call redemption. If you don't do it, you're staying here in the darkness of Mitzrayim. You're not going anywhere, buddy. You want the ticket or you don't want the ticket? You want the ticket? Well, here we go. B'chavod. We know what to do. Gemilut Chasadim, Talmud Torah. That's what we're going to be saying. Chevlo Shel Mashiach, right? Gemilut Chasadim and Chevlo Shel Mashiach. You want to do it, learn Torah. Don't tell me I'm tired. Don't give me all kind of garbage. I need to speak to my wife. My wife doesn't let me. Tell your wife, Habibti, Motek, darling, I love you. Sheker, Mon Sheri, Ayuni, Ruchi, whatever else you're going to tell her. How do you say my love in Russian? My lebuv, Yofi. Milublu, tilublu, kilublu. Yofi. You want to make it on the train, yes or no? You want to come Mashiach, you want me to say to you, bon voyage, darling, I'm going, and you're going to stay here, yes or no? I'm going to learn, I'm bringing you redemption. I don't want to stay here. We know what happened in Mitzrayim. 1 of 50, 1 of 250, 1 of 5, whichever way you want to look at it, it's a horrible number, did not make it. They left in the darkness. Makat choshech, the darkness, they came and wrecked everything. You want to be in the darkness? You can stay here. I'm going to learn. I want to be redeemed. I love you so much that I'm going to learn. Not only for me, I'm going to learn for you. We're not going to go to restaurants. We're not going to go out. I'm going to do everything for you on Shabbat. You'll be the queen. I'll do the dishes, anything. Just let me learn. Of course, if you don't believe in that, don't tell me though, do you believe in Geulah? Do you believe in Mashiach? Do you believe in all the other garbage that you're saying to me if you don't come to learn? Because that is a garbage you're telling me. You're not telling me the truth. Because if you would really believe in that, you will be here every day. Now, if you don't come to learn, don't tell me Mashiach. I'll tell you, you tell me Mashiach, I'll tell you Shatiach. I don't care what anybody tells you. That's the path. You need to know how to navigate. You're going to go on the plane, you won't know how to operate it. You're going to crash. Crash and burn. This is the final solution, the final selection. We make here now the final selection. You're going to make the train, you're not going to make the train. You want to do Tai Chi, you want to do yoga, you want to do, I don't know what. Lift weights, lift whatever, cycling, basketball, football, rugby, karate, taekwondo. Not a problem, not when you're learning. I told you before, what's the Hakmadah from Rav Shimon Pinkus? Shimshon Pincus. He said, Hatmada, a person who is matmid is a person who eats on time, sleeps on time, and then the rest of the time he learns. You have more time than you need. You don't learn enough. I'm going to tell you this, you don't learn enough. And some of you don't learn at all. You need to understand that your future, your wife's future, your children's future, your grandchildren's future is dependent on you, whether you're going to come here and learn or not. And tell this to your wives, tell this to your friends, tell it to yourselves. I don't care if you come to learn for 2 hours a day, but those 2 hours a day, the world is gone. You are in Olam Haba. If you will go to Olam Haba, nobody will be able to call you and say, honey. No, Olam Haba, I'm dead. For those 2 hours that I'm here, honey, I'm dead. Don't call me because I'm not going to answer. You want to do that? You'll make it. You're not going to do it? You're not going to make it. You want to try me? Try me. I dare you not. Tell it to your kids. Tell it to your friends. Tell it to your rabbis. And tell them I said so. Don't have a problem with that. And now we need to understand that the whole creation, the whole Bria, the whole creation was made in the fashion of orot vekelim, vessels and lights. Orot vekelim. The Mekubalim tells us that the connection between Sefer Bereshit to Sefer Shemot is like the connection between kelim and orot, vessels and lights. In Sefer Yov it says, Yachin Rasha v'tzadik ilbash. The wicked will prepare and the righteous would wear. And there's a great secret here for us to understand. The development of this world was really made by the Rashaim. They got things going. How? They break the vessels. They take the vessels, they break it, they destroy. They destroy the world in order for the righteous people to build it. And the inyan is, the issue is that the Rasha is able to go down to places that the tzaddik will never go. Goes down to the pit, to the bottom, to the dirtiest places. A tzaddik will never go there. But over there when he goes, he finds great lacking, chesronot, wrongdoings. Oh, he's back. And over there he finds vessels, he finds kilim. That's why around many tzaddikim, you have a lot of Rashaim. And these are Rashaim are called Nosei Kelav. They call their apprentices. They're doing his work. Rasha, Resh, Shin, Ayin, the Rashi Tevot is Ratzon Shel Atzmo, the will of his own. A person that does what he wants is a Rasha. A selfish person is a Rasha. A person who thinks only about himself and does whatever he feels like it without any regards to anyone else. That is a Rasha. The world is a world of chesed, and the destruction of this world came from selfishness. The buildup of the world will be because of selflessness. The tzaddik does chesed. Chesed is the willing to give. The Rasha only wants to receive. And that is our egocentric side in all of us. So all of us, we could become Rashaim, or we could become Shalom, or we could become Tzaddikim. And that also, if we do it right, if we want to receive, that could do also great things. We could receive for the will. I want to receive, I can receive bad things, or I want to receive the shefa, the abundance of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So that would make me do something good with that. And that would already be the tikkun ha'olam. This is how we fix the world. That tzaddik already fixed that. And all is left in his vessel, all is left is just not to fill the vessel up. To fill it up. Don't be, some people are so involved with this question of tzaddik v'ra lo, rasha v'tov lo. Don't be bothered by it. Bother with what you need to do, with the work ahead of you. Don't, because what you see right now, it's so like this. Look, Rabotai, last week we talked about Yosef. We talked about the achim, the brothers. Rabotai, we turn the page, and it's already a different reality. This is what's going to be to us. Every day, we turn another page of our lives. Every day, we turn another page until we come to the end, and then we close the book and we put it away, and it's been forgotten. Don't be bothered with it right now. Bother with the work that you have to do. Fix your vessel so the shefa, the abundance, the baracha will be able to hold itself in. You can't judge yourself from those little things that happen to you day by day in our short lifetime. So the tzaddik is busy fixing. The Rasha is busy destroying. He wants to destroy. He's not interested in shefa, in work. He is lazy. He wants to get paid without work. And we should understand that the reality of our life is a mix-up from good and bad. Always is like, again, I hate to say it, but the yin and yang. In good, there's always bad, and then bad is always good. There's no absolute good or absolute. Shechiyanu v'kiyimanu v'giyanu. There's always good, and if it's too good, it will turn up to be bad, and if it's too bad, eventually it will be good. There's darkness will bring the light, and light could bring darkness as well. So especially for us, that there's always good and bad, and ra and tov, since Adam HaRishon mixed it all up, it's very difficult for us to see exactly what to do and to understand exactly, because we can't see the whole picture. And sometimes you could be very angry and upset at things that happen in the world without understanding what is really happening, because you are very short-sighted. You can't see. And you were therefore angry on good things that happen. Weren't even aware of that. But to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, everything is precise. Everything happens in time. We have the concept of to hasten the Geulah. That's one of the things that we says, no, we shouldn't hasten the redemption. Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu told us, Be'ita achishena. When it's the time, I would make it fast forward quickly, but on the appropriate time. It's not your business to make the time for redemption now. When it's the time, that's your test. Be'ita. We don't understand this. We say, we want it now. Who said that now is the time? Lema davar domeh. What is it like? We almost finished, by the way. Lema davar domeh. Imagine a woman, right? Kol sason v'kol simcha, kol chatan v'kol kala. 9 months later, she already has a baby. She's pregnant. Darling, look at this. I got blue, I got pink, I got whatever in my... No. Otazoi, I'm going to be a father. No. 1 month goes by, 2 months go by, 3 months go by, whoop-alas! 5 months go by. Say, listen, I don't want to wait anymore. I want this baby now. What do you mean you want the baby now? No, I want that baby now. I don't want to wait about 4 more months. I'm going to wait. Come on, let's get going with this. So what are you going to have? You're going to have a preemie, right? You're going to have a 5-month-old preemie, and then it's going to be a problem. The kid is going to probably go defective, right? He's not going to be, he needs to develop. That's not the time. When the baby comes, when the baby is ready to come. The baby doesn't come when the baby is not ready to come. When the baby comes and not ready, we have problems with the baby. This is redemption. You need to understand that. You are hasty. You couldn't wait. You couldn't wait for Moshe Rabbeinu to come. That's the egel. You couldn't wait. Adam HaRishon couldn't wait. He ate. Look what he did to us. Well, now you're going to fix it. You're going to wait. You're not going to wait. You're going to destroy it further. Rabotai, don't rush, don't run red lights, stop at traffic signs, wait in line, don't cut a line. That's a part of practicing for the Geulah. That's your tikkun. That's our tikkun. Plan appropriately, make sure things get on time. It's like anything else. You see, everything, all the secrets are here in front of you. You just don't realize they're the secrets. And we need to understand that. So, without talking too much on that, just to mention that this parasha is called Parashat Shemot. Shemot. Names. Even though in English they call it how do you call it?
Exodus.
Exodus movement of Bob Marley make a good song of this, right? I like that song. But they missed the point. Because we need to understand that Shem, name, is the vessel in which the person operates in this world. That's why it's very important to give your child an appropriate name. You don't name a child after a person who is a Rasha. For example, don't call your kid Nimrod. Don't call your kid Datan. You know how many people I know that call the kids Datan, Aviram. Don't give him those names. This kid haven't done a thing. You're giving a name, you're giving him a restricted vessel that would not enable him to operate in the world. That's why we don't give kids names of somebody who died young. Because that vessel was restricted. The job was not finished. We don't give kids names of people that Chas v'Shalom died in a war. It's not a good thing. You have to add a name that will be mechazek it, that would allow him to do more. Don't give the kid 4 names, 3 names, because then there's going to be too many vessels for him to deal with. He's not going to be able to fill them up. That's why it's important to call the person with his full name. Let's say, for example, argument's sake, let's say I call you, I don't know, Nachman Mendel. Okay? So we have to call you Nachman Mendel. We can't call you Mendy. We call you Nachi. We can't call you Nanachi. We have to call you Nachman Mendel, whatever your name is. Because now you are recognizing his kli, his vessel. He will be able to fill it up. So, therefore, the name of the person is the shape of the kli. And you see that many people having certain names, they do certain things. There are people who would not give their name, for example, the kid the name Shimon. Says Shimon, based on the Gemara, we're not going to call Shimon. Some people yes, but some people no, they don't want to give names like that. And the tzura of the kli, the shape of the vessel, is that tzura that would reveal how the light is going to be manifesting, revealing itself in that kli itself. And every letter in the name is a different frequency that revealed a certain part of the light of HaKadosh Baruch Hu in this world. Therefore, you need to make sure that your kli is clean. That's why you call the person in his right name. If a person's name is Abraham, don't call him Avi. Why? Because what happened to the other names, but the other letters? You're not using a part of it. That's not good. Moshe. Don't call him Moshe. Call him Moshe. Don't call him Moishale and no Moshik. Because his name is not Moshik. Or Josh for Yoshua. What happened to Yoshua? Call him Yoshua, not Josh. Or Johnny. Or any of those names. There's a certain name. That's why we say that giving a name is like 1/60th of prophecy. There's a person, the father knows he's mechaber. If he's mechaber for that. I told you, my last baby, I didn't know what I'm going to call her. My wife wanted me to give her a different name. I said, I'm not quite sure, let me see. So I went to Shul on Shabbos, many years ago, but I went to Shul on Shabbos. And I didn't know how I'm going to call her. I had no knowledge. I'm going to call my girl. And then they called me for Aliyah Torah. And then he came to me. And I called her Tal. So I came home. And my wife says, no, so how'd you call her? I said, Tal. I said, okay, good, fine, that's her name, Tal. I looked at one of my kids, when he was born, I wanted to call him Elazar. I looked at him, I said, I really love the name Elazar. Elazar, I love the name. Sounds Shem Shel Gibor. I looked at him, I said, this kid is not an Elazar. And I had to walk that child, because he was born on Shabbat. I had to walk. It was like something like 12 miles, because in a snowstorm and an ice storm, I came here, I was like a blizzard man. All the time I'm thinking, how are they going to call this kid? I said, Elazar, Elazarico, Lazarico. I said, no, that's not his name. So I called him Ehud. And Keshmo Kenu, everybody likes him. Then the other boy was called, oh, that's an Elazar. That's it, there's no doubt, he's an Elazar. Do you know? And with this name, hopefully, they will be able to do whatever they need to do. And what is their need to do is to bring the light of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, whichever way it's reflected through them. So it's very important. So the Shemot, the Kelim, were the Kelim of Am Yisrael that comes down. And when you put all those names together and all those combinations together, you get a rainbow. And that the light that comes out, and the light that comes out is a bright light, bright white light that includes all the lights together with it. So the Baal Shem Tov teaches, Baal Shem Tov, you hear Baal Shem Tov? Baal Shem Tov teaches us that the issue of Galut and the Galut of Mitzrayim, the way it was, when he talks about the Jewish nation, also applies to the Jew as an individual as well. As it says in Sefer Tehillim, Karva el nafshi ge'ala, to my soul. The Baal Shem Tov says that before a person is going to pray for a general redemption, before he's going to pray to the redemption of Am Yisrael, he needs to pray for the private redemption of his neshama, for his soul. Why? Because, as we said before, there are two different types of exiles. One is the exile of the material, the chomer, by the nations, and the other one is the galut of the tzurat neshama, the shape of your soul, by the Yetzer Hara. Yetzer Hara meitzer, makes it narrow. Remember, we talked about Mitzrayim. They make your neshama small, presses you, compresses you, makes you claustrophobic to the point that you can't move. That's what the Yetzer Hara does to you. The Yetzer Hara makes you busy all the time, running after materialistic things, needs of this world. We don't think anymore. We don't take the time and we think big. What happened to us? We were nations of philosophers. What happened to us? All we care about was what shawarma would I get, what house would I get. It all became very, very materialistic. And therefore the level of spirituality has declined. So if you know that's what it is, let's fix it. Let's be less obsessed with big buildings and stones and marble. Let's be busy with this. Let's spend, instead of spending $4, $5, $6 million on buildings, let's buy a building, small one, and then we'll take this extra money and we'll put it for education, for Jewish education. Let's feed poor people with it. Why do we need this? Who do we do it for? ועשו לי משכן ושכנתי בתוכם, inside of them. לא בתוכו, בתוכם. So a person, when we're so busy running after materialistic things, oh, did you go to this restaurant? Did you visit this restaurant? Did you see this car? So you don't have time to develop your neshama. So you're becoming a very shallow person. To the point that most people today have nothing to talk about. If you have two chevre meeting, what do they talk about? They talk about Trump. They talk about the thing. They talk about nonsense. The same news that you saw is the news that I saw. So why do you need to repeat it to one another? Let's talk about something more on a higher level, a different plateau. Because we don't want that, because we restricted ourselves. That's Mitzrayim. So therefore each and every one of us experiences that galut of Mitzrayim personally. So why do we need to pray for ourselves? Why so-called be selfish? Very simple. Because if you're not able to help yourself, you're not going to be able to help anybody else. That's why you cannot wait for somebody else to learn from you, or for you. You need to sit down and learn yourself. You need to be able to say, hey guys, you know what, why you sitting? Come, let me teach you something. You see two people in shul sitting down talking about nonsense. Guys, let's learn one halakha together. Let's learn two halakha together. Why wasting our time? Let's elevate ourselves a little bit better. He did, she did. It's miseman, who cares about those things? So when we says Karvai Nafshi Ge'ala, we're talking about Geulat HaNefesh from the Yetzer Hara. And then immediately, once you're able to do so, you have to understand, as soon as you're able to break away from this imprisonment of materialistic endeavors that we all had, then the Geulah, the material Geulah, is going to come right away. So therefore, until we're going to be able to redeem our neshama, our body is going to still be in galut. And therefore, it has nothing to do with your geographic location. You could be in America and be free, spiritually, or you could be in Eretz Israel and be in Mitzrayim. We bring the galut, unfortunately, we bring the galut with us to Israel. And that's a disgrace. That should not be allowed. Yes, you could be free here, because the galut, first of all, is galut HaNefesh. How far we have been swayed away from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, from the ways of Am Yisrael, and so on and so forth. So therefore, at the end it says, Vayakel Melech Chadash. Vayakel Melech Chadash. Who is the new king? The Yetzer Hara, which is Galut HaNeshama, and from that, the Galut of the body comes straightforward, right away. And after that it says, Veyihi beyamim rabim haem, Vayamot Melech Mitzrayim. And then after all these long days, the king of Egypt died. Vayanchu b'nei Yisrael min ha'avodah. And b'nei Yisrael were screaming from and in pain from the amount of labor they had. Vayizaku, and they cried. Vatal shavatam ela Elokim min ha'avodah. And then that cry went up to Shamayim because of that avodah. So when Moshe Rabbeinu was born, he was born b'bchinat dat. And then only after Moshe Rabbeinu was able to bring the lights from the sfera of dat to this world, only then, they realized that they are in deep trouble. Until that point, they just continue and they did not think about it. But when Moshe Rabbeinu was born, the light of Sfera Da'at, the chibur, the connection between us and Am Yisrael was shining in the world. Then we realized that we're missing something. And then Vayamchu b'nei Yisrael min ha'avodah. And then they said, "Oy, this is so much work, too much trabajo, mucho trabajo, poco dinero." Too much work. And that is, which avodah? V'yalchu b'nei Yisrael min ha'avodah. You always say avodah or trabajo, hard work. I said to you, no. Let's look at it this way. V'yi bayamim rabim haem. And then after so many days, and then the Melech Mitzrayim died, the king of Mitzrayim died. V'yalchu b'nei Yisrael, and b'nei Yisrael sighed min ha'avodah, because we don't have any more avodat Hashem. Not the work that we are working, because that they work all the time. They realize that they don't have avodat Hashem. And when Moshe Rabbeinu came, they realized how much they're missing, how much they're lacking. And then v'ta'al sha'avatam hashamayim. And then the sha'avatam went to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Their cry went up to the yearning. Leshavea is to yearn. Leshavea is to hope. That went up to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And then the Geulah had started. The Geulah of the body. When they realized that they need to break away their soul, then the body came and they became free. The ultimate freedom came when they went to Har Sinai. Now I'm going to ask you this. Where are you standing? Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our mind. You know who said that? Shabbat Shalom.